welcome back to episode 3 of Rarely Rad. We figured it out again and we're virtual. So cheers to us. Isabel has a real drink. I sadly have a mocktail. And last night was the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I was right. I said that the Chiefs were gonna win. I predicted that Taylor Swift was gonna win. The Chiefs were gonna win
Oh my
because of
God. Literally today, my boss was like, so who won? Did Taylor's team win? And I was like, oh my God. Yes, they did win, but he had no idea. He had not even watched the halftime show, which is surprising because like he's all into that. I know. We were like telling him, we were like, Carlos, Usher was looking so sexy.
yeah, that's daddy.
Like, wow.
It was so good. I can't remember the last one that I literally thought was, like, as good. Like, there have been a couple, like, good in between, but I feel like the last really good one was Lady Gaga, which I don't even remember what year that was. And then Usher just came up. He brought up Alicia Keys. He brought I don't even know, like, everybody.
Ludacris, her, Her, that
Her,
girl,
yeah.
which she looked like Northwest.
I know. I was like, I don't
I
know
was
who this is, but I feel like
texting
I should.
I was texting one of my best friends from college, and we're because so little background, when we went to Okeechobee Music Festival back in 2017, Usher performed, and
Yeah,
so I claim to have seen Usher, though really I leave out the part of the story that we were too tired by the time it was his act that we went back to our tent because it was a camping fest and we just heard it from our tent.
oh my goodness.
So I texted her and I was like, remember when we saw him live? And she was like, absolutely. Um, and then the whole time we were going back and forth. But when Her came out, I was like, yo, that looks like Northwest. And she said, I think it is her. And I was like, wait, it is Northwest? Like, what? Because she didn't like capitalize her or anything. She was just like,
Yeah.
I think it's her. And I was like, guys, it is Northwest. Oh my God. And they're like, Haley, Northwest isn't that old. And I was like, what? And then my friend that was texting, she was like, no, like H.E.R. And I was like, that
Yeah.
makes way more sense. But yeah, when he started, it was, and this was her comment, but it was very parade like. Like there was a lot going on in the very beginning where I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
I didn't feel that way. I was like, hell yeah. I just got right into it. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is exciting. Like, because I feel like it's kind of an attention grabber. Like, a lot starts going on. Everybody's like, okay, let me stop what I'm doing. I gotta see what's going on.
But like, I mean, literally there was a full marching band, and then there was like
Yeah.
acrobats, and then there was like people dressed up with like feathers, and then there like I mean, there was it just felt like a little too much in the very beginning. But once he started doing like the stage stuff and like having just those dancers and everything, I liked it a little bit more. But in the very beginning, I was like, I don't know if this is for me or if this is being done well. But then when he was in his whole white outfit, that was awesome. I'm still a little
Mhm.
unsure about the bedazzled glove.
I thought that was maybe a Michael Jackson tribute.
That was my only thought too, but I don't know what that would be really.
Well, Michael
Alicia
Jackson did
Keys.
perform at the halftime. What?
Well, and then I was just going straight to Alicia Keys.
Oh, whom we all love.
Like her giant red dress with the piano,
A babe at its finest.
and then when they were grinding on each other.
That's a married woman.
Is he married?
I don't know, probably. Aren't they all?
Also, do you know how tall he is?
I think he's like I don't think he's that tall.
No, he's a tiny man. He's 5'8".
You know, he's only 45.
Yeah, I looked that up last night too. I was like, how tall? How old? How this?
Literally, okay, so I feel like the only people that didn't like the Usher show, people
People
over
didn't
the
like
age of
it.
45. Yeah, people that didn't know his music, so people like the under the age of 22 and people over the age of 45, like people that were uncultured swines. I think my parents liked it, but I was talking to somebody at work and they're like, "Yeah, it was all right." And I was like, and I specifically said, I was like, "I have this theory that people over the age of," and I'd gone higher because I was trying to be respectful, over the age of 50 and under the age of 22, that was the people above that and under that were, like, a little weird about it, and I was like, and I said that, and he was like, and I'm outside of your age bracket," which I'm like, "I knew I should've said 45. That man has got to be over the age of 45." But, no, I know that I've seen some stuff on Twitter and, like, Instagram, they're like, "Who is this man?" And I'm like, "Who the heck are you, dude? This is my man Usher."
People didn't know who
Yeah,
he was?
people didn't know who he was. It was very disheartening. I was sad.
Disheartening. Yeah, well, so the white outfit, then Alicia Keys, and then he takes off his shirt.
Mhm.
That was hot. Another part that I was like a little about is that one part where he did those weird dances.
When he was, like, rollerblading?
No, when he was like slowly jerking.
Oh, like the robot moves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes more sense. Um, yeah, that was a little odd because he's such a good dancer that I was just a little confused by that little part. But I guess a good dancer also is able to do that because I clearly I can't.
No.
But no, the rollerblading was really cool too.
Yeah, I like that. No, I was a big overall advocate for the Usher halftime performance. I thought it was great.
Oh, and then he brings out Luda, and then he
Mhm.
brought out what's the other guy that he brought out?
CeeLo Green.
Is that who that was?
Oh, no, it was,
CeeLo Green's
some
big
guy with a yeah, it's shoot, it was, Deshaun? No, what was his
No,
name?
I thought it was Lil something.
L This was like
Lil
Lil
Jon!
Deshaun, that one.
Lil Jon?
Yeah, Lil Jon, he brought out another person too that starts with a D, and I can't think of his name right now.
I'm looking it up right now. will.i.am apparently came out.
Was he the one in the mask? Because I thought that was Kanye.
Maybe. We thought so it was so wild. So he's over there stripping, and we're like, he's stripping to his Skims right now. We're like, holy shit, that's what's happening. This because he just got released for like the skit as a Skims person. And we're like, and
Yeah,
then her comes out, looks like Northwest, and we're like, what? And then the guy with the mask comes out, and we're like, Kanye? He was like, what is happening here? But I don't think that was actually Kanye. But there was Jermaine Dupri,
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, the name was a D. I think that's the guy with the mask.
and then will.i.am came out, her, Alicia Keys, Lil Jon, and
Mhm.
then Luda.
Ludacris. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know anybody that is everybody, and I talked to you about this when I was in Atlanta. Yeah by Usher comes on, Ludacris's part comes off, I'm taking the gloves off, getting the vocal cords ready, because this is my time to show everybody I can rap. Obviously, I couldn't, but I fucking crushed it. I know people were highly impressed. They're like, "Man, she knows the Yeah by Usher." I was like, "Yeah, I know Yeah by Usher." That was like
Luckily,
my time to shine right there.
you were at a party of 6 people, so
Yeah, it was like 6 of us, and that's all there needed to be because only 6 people need to know that I could crush that part. 'Cause that's all it takes is 6 people to make you go viral.
yeah, it's like a private show.
Yeah, people pay to see that shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think it was one of the best halftime show performances. The only way I think it could have been better is if Justin Bieber came out.
I was thinking that too, and then they only showed him in the stands, like, kissing Haley, and I was like,
Oh, I
what
didn't
about on
even
the
see
stage, though?"
he was at the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that he was. I saw that like Beyonce and Jay-Z were there. And then of course Beyonce had her whole little outfit, which was a tribute to her releasing that she's coming out with a new song or album or whatever. Did you see that video?
Mhm. I did not, but I believe it.
Oh, so you'll have to look at it on Instagram. Beyonce is now gonna have like it looks like country. Like she's going
Oh, that's what I kept seeing memes about, and I was just like, "Okay," like, I was like, "What is this weird meme?"
yeah, apparently there's like a whole her trailer was like her gonna be singing country. It sounded really good, but yes, that's gonna be super exciting. But yeah, her
Of
whole
course it
outfit
sounded good, it's Beyonce.
facts. She is one artist that I saw live that I was like, wow, this bitch can sing.
Puts on a phenomenal performance. On mine and Austin's 5-year anniversary this past year, 2023, um, Beyonce happened to come to Charlotte, and we were like, "Let's just fucking go." It was, like, the night of. She didn't even have an opener because she's Beyonce, and my friend texted me and was like, "I think I'm gonna go to Beyonce, I got a free ticket." And at this point, we'd gone out to dinner, we'd had a couple drinks, and we were like, "You know what? Let's do it." And we just, like, went. We paid $50 for these tickets. Yeah, and got into club level. It was one
What's
of the
that?
most insane performances I've
No,
like,
like,
club level, yeah. Yeah, like, $50.
wow.
You
Yeah,
can't beat
saw
that. That's
I saw
fame.
her when it was her and Jay-Z, and it was probably 2017, 2018, probably 2018. And I bought day of tickets, and yeah, we had floor seats. And
Mhm.
it was one of the coolest experiences ever. Yeah, so she was there. Obviously, Taylor Swift was there. And then, but Taylor was with Blake Lively, who looked so cute.
I love her.
I was obsessed with her outfit. I wanted to be her. Then they were also with Ice Spice. And then there was a random little blonde, or I think it was blonde, little short
Yeah.
bob. And I Googled
Mhm.
earlier today because I was like, who the hell was that? And it was like her stylist or something. It was one of like, wait, I screenshotted it. It was one of Taylor's friends. It was another one of Swift's longtime friends at the Super Bowl was stylist and designer Ashley Avignon.
Okay.
Avignon? I have no idea, but that's who that was. One thing I will say on that Taylor Swift conversation, the fact that the Chiefs won in overtime and the camera immediately went to Taylor Swift.
I wanna see what's going on in the field.
I would like, and I understand like they're always gonna have cameras on the big fans and stuff, and they're gonna show that after the win. Like, look, this is the moment it happened. But for the TVs to literally switch straight to that camera, I was just like, damn.
Yeah, they didn't even switch to Leo. You saw Leo one time.
Who's Leo? Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, did you even know he was there? They don't show him. Exactly. Like, they showed him for one time, and then everything else was like, "Oh, Taylor Swift."
Yeah,
And I was
I
like, "I'm just
oh,
trying to
and
watch
then
the
it was
game."
interesting that Brittany Mahomes wasn't with Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did, but I also don't know what she looks like, but I knew that she wasn't the short little blonde bob girl.
Well, Brittany Mahomes, you know how I talked about how she like really revamped herself this past year? She also is now on Sports Illustrated. It's her rookie year.
Well,
And
good for her.
she actually looks really good, especially for she's had 2 kids, like, in her own body and stuff. So she
Yeah.
looks really, really good for it. And then Sports Illustrated's like Instagram post that they did about it, nothing in the caption mentions like wife of Patrick Mahomes. So everyone in the comments was like, hell yeah, Patrick, we love that they didn't mention him at all in this post, and that like she's her own woman, which like in the end of the day, she wouldn't be a Sports Illustrated girl if it wasn't. But
Yeah. But, well, small steps, I guess. Small
how's your
steps
life
for
going?
womankind. My light, it died. So
Is
not
my
sure where.
good?
Yeah, I can plug it in. Also, for the fans who are watching, if we're able to upload this to Spotify, which we did have some issues last time, the bed behind me, it is only unmade because I'm waiting for the sheets to get on, not because I'm an unkept woman.
But she is a freak in the sheets.
Um, no, one thing though, I've always really liked Travis Kelce, and I will say, I don't think I've ever experienced an ick as hard as I have for the last 2 videos I saw of that man.
I was gonna say the one you sent me when he's like singing Viva
Viva
Las
Las
Vegas,
Vegas? Ew. We
literally.
all on live television witnessed that ick. I know Taylor Swift looked at her man later and was just like, "Ew, that is gross."
It like leave the singing to Taylor Swift.
I was so embarrassed for him.
It
I get
was
you're all excited, but, like, I don't sing when I'm excited, like, I just, like, yeah, do a little happy dance like the rest of the world. I don't do the weird, oh my god, it was bad.
yeah,
I got shivers.
yeah, that I would agree there. That was awful. I will say, did you see the videos of them at the after party?
Yeah, I didn't really like that either.
Oh, really?
There was
I
some
thought they
more
were
ick
so
behavior.
cute.
I think it's because I watched it right after he'd been screaming, so all I could picture his giant head, black sunglasses of being like, "Ugh," and I was just like, "You're just gross to me." And then I'd also just seen that video of him running up to Andy Reid and just like knocking him, like pushing him over and just screaming in his face, and I don't like that.
Well, and then
I
did you
think
see
that's
all the
really
drama
disrespectful.
behind all that too? Because then so that got posted, and then AJ Brown, he's another football player, he then posted and he was like, "If I did this, I'd be kicked out of the league."
Yeah.
And then Tyreek Hill, a football player on the Dolphins, he commented back and was like, "But you know why you would be kicked out though, right?" With the, like, little emoji like this. Uh-huh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And
did not like that. I thought it was really disrespectful behavior. I understand you're feeling a lot of emotion in that game that is a very important game in your life. That being said, like, I what if you just talk to your boss like that, like your everyday boss? I mean, you just can't talk to
yeah,
people like that in general. I just
I
think that's
saw
so disgusting behavior.
I saw one interview, and I honestly don't know if it was before or after the Super Bowl, but they asked him a question, and the question was like, "What are your" people say that you're like Andy Reid, that's the coach, is like favorite player. Like, what's your response to that? And his response was like, "Well, I've been on the team the longest, so I have a long tenure, so it makes sense."
That's not how favoritism works. I'm the firstborn. Trust me, I'm not fucking the favorite.
I was just like, interesting response to put out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of honestly, I just made me lose like kind of a decent amount of respect for him. Just talking to anybody like that because the thing is like yeah, 99% of the time he isn't acting like that. But obviously there's 1% of the time of him that does behave like that. And he obviously acts like that. And
Imagine if he did that to Taylor Swift.
the world would set on fire. Oh my goodness, the Swifties would conquer the world and burn that man at the stake. It'd be the Salem witch trials 2024. No. Like I
Like,
no, I mean the thought of it makes me sick because it you shouldn't be talking to anybody like that and then like it just imagine like being spoken to like that as a woman.
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds. Um, no, yeah, overall though, I feel like this Super Bowl, pretty good year. I like when it I feel like
whoa,
this
2 other
always happens with
people.
the go ahead.
I Brock Purdy, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, he is the
Yeah.
cutest little thing. Like, I just wanna, like, put him in my pocket and, like, walk around with him. I saw a tweet the other day, and it was, like, his photo of when they were doing, like, their team photos or whatever, like, his personal headshot or whatever, and the
Yeah.
tweet was like, "Purdy looks like he is a little kid modeling a 49ers jersey for a costume,"
Oh my
and
goodness.
he literally does, like, he's just so little and cute, and I felt so bad for him because honestly, they played a great game, and, like, they
Yeah.
were so close. When they had the Chiefs in overtime at, like, 4th and 1 or whatever, I was like, "This could be the 8. Like, this could be it." Um, but they just couldn't do it. And then also, Nick Bosa. Holy hell, that man's hot. Have you seen him?
I don't know who that no, but I'm gonna look it up right
Look him up
now.
right now. He is
Oh,
so sexy. He has thighs from
Oh,
the
yeah.
gods.
Okay. Wish people said that about my thighs. My thighs
Those are
refer
also
to the
godly. They're just the thunder gods.
comment.
No, yeah, you just looked at him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's
He's cute.
so hot.
The
I've
handsome
found
fella.
myself on Nick Bosa talk, and
Yeah.
wow, I'm glad I found myself there. Also on TikTok, did you manage to get yourself on waste management?
I only came across like one video, but my friend worked it this past weekend.
Insane.
Yeah, I went like 2 years ago. Actually, I came up for my 2 years,
I know, and
and
I
they,
understand, like, it's a club party festival, but
yeah,
that there was over 500,000 people because they stopped looking at tickets. The fact that they had to shut down all alcohol sales because they had so many people that they could not control. The fact that it
yeah,
rained so hard and, like, everything was mud. Then, what's it, the 16th hole? That's the super famous hole? They had over 20,000 people at the hole. And then when they stopped playing and stuff and everyone got mad, they started throwing all the trash on the green.
it's just a wreck. It sounds like it sounds like Firefest.
That's what everyone
Remember
was saying.
that?
Everyone was like, "This is Fire Fest right now." Apparently, like, a lot of golfers are like, "We're not gonna play this ever again. Like, screw
I don't
this."
blame them.
And I knew
When
there
I
was
went the
already
first
some that
time,
don't play it, but I mean, a shit show. And I mean, I will say it's on my bucket list to go one year because, like, I've never been. But I also do know I need to go soon because I'm gonna outgrow waste management. Like, you can't be going to waste.
I I was in my party phase and I was there. We were all there, my whole group of friends, and we were like, we are too old for this. And trust me, if you knew us back then, you knew we weren't too old for jack shit like that. We were too old for that. We had to get a party
Yeah,
bus to get there for one.
yeah, I might need to go next year.
Yeah, you need to go like yesterday.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
definitely
don't
gonna
I
go
mean,
this year.
yeah.
I
um,
wouldn't have even gotten in.
you can't even drink. Like the line to get a drink was 30 minutes long. You can only have 2 drink at a time. And then so I'm like, well, if I break the seal, which y'all know I do,
Oh, yep.
I will would just be standing in line for the bathroom the whole time. So I had 1 beer the whole entire time I was there.
Ew.
But whatever. One thing I wanted to tell you, and I don't think I told you this story because I remember in the moment, like, you know me, it takes a lot for me to get embarrassed. Like, I do some dumb things and I'm like, well, but like there are some things that I do that I'm like, wow, that was like pretty bad. So this was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I was going through the process of getting laser hair removal in my female area. So, you know, when you go to a doctor's office, they keep the little bed that you sit on the side. So, like, if you walk right in, you don't just like see everything.
Yeah.
So, at the medical spa, they don't do that because most people are just getting like Botox or facial. So, when you walk in, the first person you make direct eye contact with whomever is walking in, the patient and the doctor, nurse, whomever.
Yeah.
Me, I don't know what I was thinking. So they get in, they're like, "Hey, just do what we have to do," which is like you have to disinfect the area, take your pants off, you put a little blanket over yourself, as one does. I lay down. I'm sitting there because they have to get into like the nooks and crannies. So I'm sitting there with my legs wide open. 'Cause this is how you prepare yourself. I'm
Because
sitting
I'm
there.
a
I'm like, something
fool.
feels really weird. I was like sitting there, like, why does something feel so weird right now? Sitting there, staring up at the ceiling. My legs are wide open. The nurse walks right in. She's like, "Oh my goodness." And I was like, "What?" And I realized I'm not wearing the little towel. Like, she walked in, and the first thing she saw is just my legs spread open, just looking directly inside of me. And I was so embarrassed. I was just like, "I'm so sorry." Like, I didn't even to say, I was just like, "I'm so sorry." Like, I felt like something was off and I couldn't figure out what it was. And she's like, she started laughing. She obviously knew that like it was a complete accident. Like, I'm not trying to like get weird with her. Um, it was,
That's when I started my porn career.
and that's how I started this OnlyFans. They see link in bio. But yeah, that was I forgot about that and I thought about it this past week and I was like, man, I don't think I ever told Haley about that.
No, you definitely didn't. We actually this weekend we went to Smith's, the
Mhm.
bar we went to when you were here, and
Yeah.
we ran into a porn star.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah,
you give her my work
obviously.
card?
Well, so she was there. Her name is like Abella Danger. Yeah, that's what it is, Abella Danger. And she's like, I've looked it up now. Big. Like,
Big? Like, oh, like very
yeah,
famous?
yeah, like on Pornhub, she is there's model status numbers. She's number 5. And like her followers is over 1 billion.
That's insane.
Like
That's so
she's like
sad for men.
famous, famous. No, she was there with her man.
No, I'm saying that why like so many men out here just following porn stars on like y'all have following? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
well,
what is that? Like,
it was following on Pornhub.
yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just weird to me.
I don't really know how it works either, obviously, but um, yeah, and she was there with her man, who is a attorney of some sort, I don't know, attorney in Atlanta, and
Interesting.
he was wearing a like zip up Prada jacket, so clearly expensive. And
Yeah,
apparently he's like a very well known attorney too, and like represents a lot of like big clients and stuff. But yeah, that
Morgan
was
and Morgan for the people.
apparently he has billboards around here. Like,
Oh,
I
interesting.
I don't know who he was. But yeah, they were just there at the bar. Um, obviously the boys recognized her.
Ew.
And one guy went over and talked to her. I don't really know what was said or anything, but yeah, I
I like
was
your work. Like, what do you say to that?
well, then
Like
I
your
was asking
movies?
him, I was like, so like what's her like typical like content? And they're like, what? And I was like, well, like, like there's different girl with girl,
Does she play like
girl.
stepmom roles?
Yeah, I'm like girl with BBC,
Cousin?
girl with several people. Like I'm like, what whole? Like uh I was trying to get a little bit of understanding. I don't think she's my style. But teach their own.
My freshman year of college, my really good friend, I think it was actually my sophomore year. We were really good friends, and she was dating this guy, and I was like, he's really cool. Like, I really like him, mainly because he just kept buying us stuff, and like, we're poor, we're broke. So I was like, yeah, he's like really cool. And he actually was a nice guy. And she was like, I was lurking his Instagram. They'd been dating for like a month at this point. She's like, I'm lurking his Instagram, and all these guys keep commenting like, "Oh my god, I love your work," and like all this stuff on his Instagram. And she knew he was a model. So she's like, "Okay, like, but then she's like it started getting like weird. Like I guess there were like weird comments with like eggplant emojis. Like just the comments were getting weird. And she like looks
Like
it up.
water
She's like,
drips, the eggplant. He's like, oh yeah, I've been like gardening.
yeah, like and she looks it up. This is like 2013. So it's Instagram's still very young. Like the app itself is still very new to the world. And this guy's a straight up porn star. And yeah, she'd been dating him for like a month, and I was like, she's like, I just don't think this is something I can look past. And at me being the broke person, I was like, yeah, you can look past it. Like I'm down because he keeps buying his stuff. And she's like, I can't look past him going to quote unquote work, sleeping with other people, and then coming back, and then I'm supposed to
Be into it.
like I can't do that. Yeah, and I was like, no, I understand, but I'm sad to see him go. But yeah, I guess they're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they were just acting like normal people, which I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose they kind of are. We were talking about it because P Dog also said he was like, I don't think I'd ever be able to like look past that. And I was like, like it's one thing to be a stripper, it's a whole other thing to be a porn star.
I
Like,
do agree.
stripper, you're just getting naked, get money for that.
I
The
do that
other
every
one,
day.
and you can't really use phones. The
No.
other one, that is on the internet. It's being recorded. You getting railed.
Yeah, and, like, your in-laws are seeing that.
Yeah, and like you can get diseases that way. You getting naked, you ain't getting to see it.
No. I mean, I respect either way. If you wanna if honestly, I actually have a lot of respect for people that can look past it. 'Cause I personally couldn't, so I'm like, "Good for you for, like, being a bigger person than me," or something. I don't think it's something I could look past. I think I'm a little too selfish, you know? I just want it
Yeah.
for myself.
Something else that happened this week, because I was busy with work and stuff. I golfed. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I went shipping, is what they call that. So I wasn't doing the like full swing. I was just doing like a little
The drive?
with a no, yeah, I wasn't doing that. I was
Yeah,
chipping. But I was a natural, obviously. I completely expected
duh.
that.
Me
Um,
too.
I so we are chipping to like a little square of tees, and I hit a tee. And I was like,
Hmm.
I expected that to happen. So that was fun. And we didn't do it for very long, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then it got dark. And then also I went on a dinner with someone that works for one of my brands, and he's like an older guy. Like over the age of 70, like older. But if you meet
Yeah,
him, he's like he doesn't seem that old, tons of energy, and we're just like fairly close. Um, but we went and got sushi in Atlanta, and it like so fact about me, which but I can't use chopsticks. I can't do
yeah.
it. I've tried. Everyone has taught me. I can't do it. So with sushi, I just use my little fingers. I'm like, perfect. I'm good. And I don't really use soy sauce either. So it doesn't really matter. It's not dripping anywhere. We're fine. I'm not getting my fingers in soy sauce.
Right.
We're fine and dandy. Well, so he orders everything for the table. Well, it's just us two, but he orders everything for us. And he gets a sashimi, which is just like the fish,
Sashimi?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the lady like drops it off, and all I have is chopsticks. I'm like, shit. I was like, I need to ask for a fork. Because you can't eat sashimi like with your fingers. Like that's just like wiggle it and no.
It's a
So
little too much.
yeah, like at least like sushi's like in the rice. Like this is just like flapping in the wind. No. So we like I can't remember if we asked first and it's taking a minute or we couldn't find like so no one was coming by so we couldn't ask. But he was like, wait, just like give me your chopsticks. And I was like, here, like I can't do it. Like, don't even try to teach me. I know I can't do this. It is what it is. And he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna make you try. I was like, okay, perfect. And so he gets a piece and he like dips it in the soy sauce and then he like dabs it in the rice or whatever to get some rice. I don't really know. And he feeds it to me across the table.
Oh my goodness.
There I am like leaning up, taking a bite, and well, eating the whole thing. And uh like I just wonder what everyone around us was thinking.
You know what they were thinking? She wants him for his money.
Like, and it's one of those places where the tables are very close together too. So like
Mhm.
I mean, he fed me like a little bird, like 2 times, 3 times before I got a fork.
I
But,
mean, girls gotta eat.
yeah, it was one of those things that it was happening in the moment, and I was like, "I really don't know what to do here," and I just let it happen, but
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just be like that.
I was like, "Oh my
I
god, healing."
actually on my drive home from Atlanta, me just being a girl in the world, not knowing how to do basic things, my tires didn't have air in them. So I'm like, great, like I have to go pull over, deal with this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just wearing my pajamas.
And, like, y'all, her pajamas aren't, like, normal. Like,
I got these for Christmas. They were from Anthropologie. They look like little like I don't know how to explain them. It's just
the
like they're like
top
Oriental style.
yeah, no, very yeah, oriental could be a good way. Very colorful. The top is, like, little short sleeves with buttons, and then it has, like,
A
strings
little
to
bow tie.
tie as a bow tie. And then the pants are the same, like, kind of odd, colorful print, and they're, like, palazzo-y. They're, like, a little cropped, wide
Yeah,
leg. And then what shoes were you wearing?
like Nike free runs or something.
Ex so
Like
okay,
straight up
so this
like
outfit makes
training
0
shoes.
sense.
I didn't think I was gonna be getting out of the car and talking to people, so I'm like, whatever. I have a 4-hour drive home. I'm just gonna like put my shoes on, put my sweater on, call it a day. But I get up to the air pump thing and I'm like, okay, nobody's here. Like I got plenty of time to try to figure this out. Of course, somebody shows up right after me. I'm like panicking. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And I just walk over and I'm like, look, can you just help me? He's driving in his Tesla. He's like, yeah, I don't come here for gas, as you can tell by my Tesla. And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm coming here to get the air. I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense because like the gas is like over there and like the air is over here. But I was like, whatever, yeah, sure, whatever. And then he goes, I like your pants. We're wearing the same pants. And I was just like, what? Because I'm in my pajamas. I was like, oh yeah, like I wasn't planning on getting out of the car. Anyway,
Were his
he
pants
pays
similar?
for they were like the same kind of style. Like a short cropped and like a little wider leg. And I was just like, oh, but like I don't wear these like fashionably. Like I go to bed in this. um, but the air pump thing there ended up not working, so we had to go to a different gas station, which is right
So
down the
you
road.
guys drove your cars, like, next to each other?
I was behind him, yeah. So separately, yeah. And so I pulled up, and you have to pay for air, which is first of all the biggest scam of the absolute world. But me, being a girl in the world, he paid for it, and he filled it up, and he asked me on a date. She still got it.
What did you say?
Well, he was like, "Hey, do you wanna, like" he follows us on shout out, he follows us on the Instagram, 'cause I was like, "Oh, I was in Atlanta recording a podcast." He's like, "Oh, no way, I play football." I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." He's like, "Let me follow you on Instagram," and I was trying to do it on my own Instagram, but I didn't realize I was logged into um,
The
the
pod?
Rarely Rad one. Yeah, so he followed me he gave me his phone, I followed him on to the Rarely Rad Instagram. Um, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm hungry, like, I'm about to go grab a bite to eat," and I was like, "Yeah, I've got this 4-hour drive, like, I'm hungry, but I just gotta, like, drive." He's like, "Well, like, there's a place around the corner, like, I'd love to take you." Um, and I was like, "No," I was like, "I gotta get back on the road, like, I'm sorry, but thank you." And then I, like, try to drive off, and this is, like, where the Tesla and the cars, like, it doesn't work, you know? Because I, like, still have to get gas, so I just have to drive, like, 3 feet ahead to get to the little gas thing
You're like, "I
to
gotta
fill
leave
up my
now.
gas.
I gotta go
We were
do this thing where I pump gas."
I'm, like, pumping gas, he's, like, filling up his tires, and I was like, "Yikes," like, this is, like, just awkward
You're, like,
now.
over there like, "Hey!"
Yeah, exactly, it was just weird, and I was like, "Alright." Finally got it to go, I leave, I wave, that's the end of that, but yeah, I
How
got
old
asked out
is
on a date this week. Um, less than 40, but like
he plays
35
football?
minimum maybe? I guess?
For who?
I don't know, he's on Instagram, check him out.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to do more research later. You're gonna have to point him out to
Ye
me.
yeah, he has, like in his Instagram is a bunch of football videos. I didn't look through it because I honestly kinda forgot about it. Um, but yeah, he's out and about there.
She's
He had
still
a
hot.
Gucci wallet, a Tesla.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
really know
what
what
I'm
to say,
like,
like, he's like
this is fame.
like, this is where we start making money off the pod. So, one thing I wanted to talk about is, you know how I feel about kids. I'm not a fan, particularly. I'm they're fine. I have no problem with them. I'm kinda just like, they're not for me, but I'm not really a fan. But and I am not complaining, I'm just throwing this out there into the universe. I don't want children because I don't really want to change my lifestyle that much, and I'm not like I said, I'm not a big fan of them to begin with. And I have realized that it does not matter what I do in this world, the kids are always going to be affecting my life. I go to work and my coworker is sick, I have no problem covering for her, but she's sick because of her kids. So her kids are literally affecting my life. I'm
Yep.
having to do double the work because your kid got you sick. It's really not fair for people like me who are just trying to live, make money moves, and here we are
Kidless.
having a kidless, yeah, trying to survive in this economy. Like, and here we are, I'm having to like pull sleds with kids in the back. Like, what is that about?
Yeah. I mean, so the way you feel about that is how I feel about dogs.
Yeah, but dogs have a shorter lifestyle, shorter
Yeah, but
lifespan.
these kids can grow up and feed you and make money and feed themselves and wipe their own ass. Dog
Some of them can't. I can tell you that for sure.
Dogs, never. Their whole entire life, you're feeding them, you're walking them, you're picking up their poop. You have to do everything for that little fur thing. Kids, at least by the time they're 5, they can make a bowl of cereal. They're
They
good.
can't do that at 5, Haley. They cannot do
Yes,
that at 5. You are
yes,
not
they can.
around kids often enough. They can but you yes, they can make a bowl of cereal, but you don't let that kid make a bowl of cereal on their own because the milk's going everywhere. You basically are able to leave your kid fully unattended at the age of like 14. That age, your dog's fucking dead.
But
So
then they start making, yeah, and they cost a lot more, kids. But then eventually they start making money and they pay for your life.
not are you still asking your parents for money? I know I'm not because my parents made me pay them back 44 cents, but there's very few, according to my
Not
therapist,
not yet,
into our
but that's because I'm poor. My brother, he and his wife are taking my parents to Switzerland this year.
yeah, but most kids don't
Free
have
trip.
the opportunity to do that for their parents. I don't have the opportunity to do that for my parents.
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
anybody else that does.
y'all
It's just
surely ain't gonna do that.
no, but you don't know that my dog goes into competitions.
She can't sit or shake.
She can sit.
She just
She's
can't
right back
shake.
here. Look at her. Look
I
at
know, I kept
the
seeing her tail earlier, but she can't
sit.
shake.
She can now. Well, kind of. We're working on it. She can sometimes. Dang, you hurt her feelings. Welcome back.
She's like, I gotta go. I'm out of here.
Oh, cute. Yeah, but I don't know. This honestly, it's scientifically proven that the feelings that you feel for your children is the exact same love that you feel for pets. There's like no love barrier, but it's like morally better, I guess, to say that you love your kids more than your dogs, which most parents I don't think do. Think about the way that you greet your dogs when they walk through the door and the way you greet your parents.
Oh no, I agree there. I
Yeah.
completely agree. But I'm just saying how you feel about other people's kids is how I feel about other people's parents, other people's pets.
Also.
Especially like I think my biggest thing is when people decide when you don't really have a full day plan. You know, you're like, "Oh, we're going to start here. We're going to see where to go next." And people are like, "I'm going to bring my dog." Now we're limited because you have your
Yeah,
dog
see, I don't do that.
and we're stuck eating outside. So now you can't complain about us sweating our fucking asses off because we have to sit outside because you decided to bring your fur thing.
Okay, so that's more on the dog parent.
I agree.
That's
But
not on the dog. I think that's more on the dog parent. Like,
but it's
I that's
like,
why I don't bring my dog to, like, bars like that. Like, if we're going in the evening, I'm meeting you up for a drink somewhere, sure, maybe I'll bring my dog 'cause I know we're just gonna go sit outside and then we're gonna go home. Maybe I'll bring her.
yeah,
If I know it's gonna be an all day thing, no, because I don't wanna be the reason people's lives are limited. Like, I don't wanna be that inconvenience for people because I think that's annoying when people are that inconvenience for me.
yeah, I agree.
So I no, I agree with that, but I think that's more on the lack of awareness of the people. And then they're always the one complaining, "Oh, well, like, my dog needs water," and I'm like, "Okay, did you think of that when you didn't pack the water bottle for your dog?"
That's exactly where I am with all of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's more on the person than, like, the dog. I understand your disdain for dogs. They cause less damage in the world than children do, I will say. Humans in general are just parasites to this planet. Yeah, we're like the edgy podcast. People are like, "Whoa, did you guys hear about, like, those 2 girls?" They're like, "Oh, I know about those 2 girls."
Those two idiots.
Um, yeah, 2 that should have really been the name, 2 idiots. So one thing that I was thinking about, um, after I made dinner for Austin, I was yesterday at Super Bowl, they had, like, 4 or 5 of those Temu commercials, which I think everybody in the United States found out that it's not pronounced Temu, it's Temu. Did you know that?
No, and that's the website that, like, sells everything, right?
It's like an Amazon, but, like, a third of the price, and, like, it's kinda sketchy.
But,
Like,
like, China.
yeah, like, it's, like, sketchier than, like, DHgate.
And oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Temu?
Yeah, Temu.
No,
Everybody it's
I didn't know that.
T-E-M-U. I always thought it was Temu.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, that's like, well, I don't know if it was last year or the year before or something when VRBO started having commercials and they were like, Burbo. And I swear everyone was like, wait, what? Like, there was Airbnb and VRBO. And then every commercial was like, blah, 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 Verbo. And I was like, I don't see any vowels in there that make that Verbo. But
That's not English, ma'am.
no, I've also seen, so I don't think I noticed the Temu, Temu, um, pronunciation, but I have seen a lot of like businesses talking about it because they had so many commercials, I guess. And they're like, we shouldn't be supporting this like business model. And apparently a
Yeah.
lot of stores will like buy crap from them and then just resell it at like 4 times the price.
Yeah. Austin was like, because 'cause we've been talking about it, so you know how your phone just happens to show things for whatever reason from, like, these certain websites, so a bunch of Temu stuff start popping up, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, this sweater, like, is actually kinda cool." And I was like, "Don't do it, like, don't do it on Temu." He's like, "Wait, if I spin this, I can get the sweater for free, and I can get 2 more sweaters." And I was like, "Exactly, like, that's so sketchy." Like, I think they're known for, like, taking people's credit card information. I bet you that's how they were able to get so many like, Super Bowl ads. They're just, like, taking
Well, and
everybody's
that's
credit
what
card
I
information.
wonder, like, how do they get so many Super Bowl ads? Also, they're like, I don't know, unless I completely missed it. There was no like Budweiser one with the Clydesdales.
I didn't see it.
There was no Coca-Cola one with like the polar bear.
I didn't see any Dorito ones either.
Yeah, like there were some big ones that like I feel like everyone looks out for every year, and I didn't see them. And meanwhile, they played the Arnold Schwarzenegger one with like the neighbors. Did you see that one? The State Farm
Yeah.
when they like kept saying he was saying neighbors wrong because he says like neighbor.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that twice. And then there was like the
Yeah,
nerds one.
the Nerds one was interesting because I was like I thought Nerds were more of like a Valentine's Day candy. I didn't realize it was like an all year round. Like, I can't remember the last time I ate a Nerd.
But like
No, I'm
there,
a
when you're
candy
craving
person
candy,
too.
there's like sour, chocolate, sweet. You don't crave nerds.
Exactly, that's why I'm like but I think
They're like
Nerds is
their
owned by, like,
own
Nestle.
category.
They're not really, like, in the scale of candy, it's kind of like I don't know, I feel like it's one of those that they used to remember in Valentine's Day when you were a kid and you used to get, like, the mini packets and you had to give them to everybody? Like, Nerds were, like, the ones that, like, they came in, like, packs of, like, 20, so everybody in
Yep.
class got one. That's
Yeah,
when all the
you
men
got
loved
like
me.
nerds, the mini airheads. That's like it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they did have
the
the mini spoons.
sweethearts, the
Oh, yeah,
conversation
with the
hearts.
written and
And that's
smarty.
like that's it. I think
Yeah,
part of that too is like parents didn't want to do chocolate because it melts and peanut butter because like allergies and stuff. Like who's allergic to nerds? Nerd.
me.
Only
I just hate
nerds.
nerds. My light
Yeah.
kept going out, y'all. If you're watching us on YouTube or if we're able to put this on Spotify, which we failed last time,
Just
I don't know
remember,
why it
she
looks so
looks
red.
better in person.
I look better in person. I look slightly muscular today. And don't worry, guys, it's all bloating.
But shout out as we close this out to our 8 people that have given us 5 stars on Spotify.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll be at double digits next week, so that'll be really freaking cool. And then we also have a new bio that we wrote up that sounds a lot better than our last one. So if you're interested,
Not ChatGPT. Well,
a
right?
little bit, but like mainly
Not a lot of it.
our effort. It's just perfected by ChatGPT. And so check that out too. And then if you haven't rated us yet, go and rate us while you're reading that, but only if you're going to give us a 5. Uh, not if there's anything less. And we'll talk to you next week.